So let's get started. First off, is it King Zay? Is that how you say
Yeah,
it?
King Zaae, yeah.
So what inspired, what made that artist name?
It's actually my name. So my middle name is King, and then my name is Isaiah. My mom calls me Zay, so it's really just my name
Awesome.
rearranged. Yeah. And like I thought I made it when I was like 10 when I first started. I thought it was corny, but then I like repurposed it into kind of like embracing myself, since it's literally my name.
No, that's cool. You sent an email to the station. I saw that your name was Isaiah, so I was like, that's probably where it comes from, the Zay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So what inspired you to start singing and creating music? And give me
I started dancing when I was like when I first started when I was little. I was like, do you guys remember that like that Rolex song where they're like, I just wanna roll you?
Yeah.
Those two people, they were dancers before, and I like kind of knew about them. So I was like, oh, I want to be a dancer. And then I saw like all the popular rap groups. So I was like, oh, I want to do make music now. And then yeah, basically.
That's awesome. So when did you start recording music?
I started recording music when I was like 10. I was in fifth grade,
Oh,
and I
wow.
had my auntie's like old iPhone. And so like I didn't have money, right? So I was like, oh, how can I do this for free? Because growing up, I was like, my auntie was always like, what? All this expensive stuff, you could do it yourself. So I just started making it on GarageBand.
That's cool. Do you remember the first song you recorded just for fun?
Yeah, it was like I was showing my crush, and I was like, I'm gonna blow up, blah blah blah. It was hilarious. It was like called Drip, and like I used to produce all my own stuff too, so it was like crazy bad, but it was something. The beginning.
Do you perform anywhere? Have you performed before?
Yeah, so I did like my first performance in like 2019 at a cafe near my house, and then I did my first like real show with tickets the beginning of this year in like January, and I've done like three or four more shows, and I have like one more to end out the year. But yeah, so I've been performing just for a little bit now.
So, what bands and artists have inspired the genre and how you sing and record your music?
So it's been a journey. Like as a little kid, I used to be obsessed with Michael Jackson. So Michael Jackson's like a huge influence. Like even like I love his visuals and like the movies he creates out of his like songs, and I think it's super cool. I just think it's so cool. I used to like as a kid watch all the movies, binge them, and like piece them together. And I love piecing stories of artists together. So, like I'd say like him. Recent influences like alternative artist Kenny Hoopla. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Hmm.
He's a really he's a big influence. I actually like I got to talk to him and stuff. It was like it was pretty cool. And like I'd say a lot of like alternative and then like pop, mainstream pop. Yeah, a lot of that stuff. And rap and influence and stuff. But it's a collage of different things. But I'd say those are like kind of the main two right
Do you have any favorite indie artists right now?
there. My favorite, I'd say, like there's this guy named Titus. He's pretty dope. He does his own like pop punk kind of stuff. Like I'm pretty into like the one man band kind of thing, where they like work with different bands and stuff, but they're like one artist because like working with a band sometimes is like expensive or studio time is expensive. So like I get it, but like yeah, he's pretty dope. Titus is pretty dope. Another indie, he's not really like not mainstream. I like Daywave a lot too. I think Daywave is cool. Like Cali kind of vibes. It's nice indie music.
So, what genre do you mainly do your music in?
Um, I like to call it like alternative pop just because I don't necessarily like it's not necessarily mainstream stuff, but it's not necessarily underground either. I think
Hmm.
it's kind of in that middle spot. It's like if I make an R&B song, it's still R&B adjacent. It's not like you know, not like, I'd say alternative
Okay. We noticed that the Midwest emo was that an album
Yeah.
or?
Okay. So is it a mixtape or is it an album? Midwest Emo.
Oh, that it was a mixtape. So I made that like last year when I had discovered like Midwest emo was also a big influence. Like, I
Hmm.
was like I discovered that and like I went to buy a Telecaster. I started like the aesthetics of it, kind of like the suburbia being trapped, and I was like, you know, if it wasn't so dark, it would kind of look like somewhere in the big
So
Midwest.
you've never been in the Midwest. Just
My mom's from Chicago, so I have been to the Midwest,
awesome.
but not in some. They're from the inner city, so I haven't been to like the outskirts of the Midwest, but yeah, in like Minnesota and then Illinois. That's it.
There's some Midwest emo bands that play on the show as well. So it was kind of neat seeing that other concept of it with your music.
Yeah, yeah. I really like the only dilemma with that is like I want to make true Midwest emo, but I can't tap. So I'm like trying to learn how to tap right now so I can really make some cool riffs. But yeah, that's a big influence.
You're
I
good.
made the song I played that acoustically, so I made that song by myself. The first or third whatever track is on there, I made produced that one. That was probably the most Midwest emo thing I've done.
So what are some of the favorite songs and albums you have out right now that people can listen to?
My favorite song would probably be I'm Tired. I like that song. I didn't intend on releasing that song, but I just thought it was cool. So I was like, I want people to listen to it. Um, I have a lot more cool stuff coming. Like I've been working on an album all year, so I have cooler stuff coming. The one song "Dead Rockstar" on "Being Sad is Cliche" is really good. Although like past work, I really don't like too much. Anything past like 2020 is like a little bit. But the Midwest emo mixtape is pretty good, I think. And then yeah, the newer stuff basically.
What do you know when that album's gonna come out?
I'm planning on like early next year. I'm like setting up, music videos and visuals and stuff just to like properly release this. Like trying to be like a big release or whatever. But that's the plan. Single probably coming out next month. But yeah.
Ooh, okay. What's that single? What's that song gonna be about?
Oh, it's like I made this like January. It was supposed to be like sometimes when I record music, I will like record it and then like not know what I'm saying until after I'm done. If that makes any sense. So my dad always said to me like, "Out abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks," right? So like sometimes I record a song and I'll think it means something and then I'll dissect it later and I'm like, "Oh, this is what it really means to me at least." And like, I mean, it was really just about like there was a time where I was like really going through trials with like my family and like burning bridges and stuff. And so like it's like from the perspective of the people who love me and trying to like reach my heart without like getting hurt themselves and kind of feeling a little bit sad for me, but like sad because they love me and I'm not, reciprocating that. So that's what it's really about.
So when you sent the station an email and you sent the Instagram message too, you talked about your song Somewhere, Someplace. So what is that song about? And does it like hold a lot of meaning to you?
Yeah, that one does too. So I had like just come back from homecoming with my girlfriend, and I realized that like I'm cool with everyone, but I don't really have any friends. Like it sounds super emo, right? But it's like that's kind of how I felt. So I was like, I wanted to like this year I've been kind of like stressing myself about like the marketing, the business part of music, like to kind of just like find that home place that music is for me, like that home, that place that it takes me, and to just be there and be satisfied in the moment kind of thing. So like the people who like feel like they need a break from life or like a lot is burdening them from working hard or stressing them out that they can just be at home in peace for a little bit with
That's
the
really
midst of chaos. Yeah.
sounds like a lot of your music takes on some more like deep themes and you make it into like a pretty song. That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I try to like because I do like catchy stuff. Like growing up, like I said, I listened to a lot of Michael Jackson. I used to know all the lyrics, right? Like some of the I like how even growing up on rap too, like there were deeper meaning to a line that's like 3 words, and I'm like, it blows my mind. So I like to make stuff that has like double meanings and layers to it, so it's like it has some intention, you know, not
Mhm.
just like catchy note, but also just a catchy note.
So what's next in your music career? Like, what's the next step?
I'm not really sure. I'm kind of just like playing it by ear. I'm
Mhm.
hoping to like, you know, achieve my dreams, maybe go on tour and like, I don't know, do fun stuff. I just want to do fun stuff with it. Um, yeah, the new music, production and like the quality of it is improving a lot. So better sonically, I will sound better sonically. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
So what do you like to do outside of music?
Oh, that's a hard one. I mean, I don't do much outside of music. I'm a martial artist though. I was, so I like I like used to study it a lot and like spar a lot and all that stuff. Like it takes a lot of time, so I don't do it a lot now. But that's a side thing that I do. But like, um, I like to make clothes sometimes.
Oh,
It's fun. Yeah, like I made my own when I was like just getting into the alternative scene. I used to like make my own battle jackets and stuff. I still love that.
that's
So
awesome. I suck at sewing and I need to learn.
yeah, me too. I'm really bad at it, right? But like I like doing it. And then sometimes, I'll just be like, whatever, we'll switch to like just fabric paints and stuff. Forget the sewing because it'll always come off. Like I have these pair of pants where I sewed a pocket on, but like you can put your fingers through the pocket, but it's still on there, right? It's just not very good sewing.
No, kind of like a little bit of a deeper question. Why do you think people should listen to indie artists and the whole genre as a whole?
Why? I think there's just a lot of artists have to offer to the world of music that like isn't seen, and like I feel like it's really hard to get people to like care nowadays too, especially like when a lot of people don't care because a lot of stuff is being shoved in their face, like a lot of media. And I just feel like taking the time to like just think deeper than, oh, this person's shoving music in my face, then or like, to take the time to think like maybe they put their heart and soul into this. Because I think there are a lot of different artists out there that like that it's like sad to see that they don't get the recognition that they deserve. So I just feel like yeah, they should really think about the heart and soul that goes into the music and the quality control you can have in your like but doing indie artists like by themselves is crazy. So you won't be disappointed.
That's how we feel too. I mean, indie music is it's so much fun and like seeing new artists, new bands. You kind of have to like get away from the mainstream a little bit because it starts to like sound the same. But with indie, it's
Yeah,
like you can find all different types of genres, like Midwest emo. I don't think a lot of people know that one.
I know. There's actually like there's a few Northwest emo bands here. Obviously, Midwest emo adjacent. Right? We just don't live in the Midwest, but like that genre I think is very underrated. And like there's some artists who are like trying to bring an also adjacent form of it to the mainstream, but it's just not the same as the Midwest scene. That definitely deserves a lot more attention. I
Are,
intend doing more with that too.
are there any people that have kind of like affected your music career that you would want to like talk about?
Like, let's see. There's a lot of people. I mean, my family's very supportive. They foster my talents and creativity a lot. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of different people that help me through it. I like to thank my mastering engineer because I've sent him the same mix of this album like 20 times. He's probably sick of these songs. And he still gave me a discount, so he's a good person. And my mom, she puts a lot of creative input into it too. Like she she takes me seriously, and I think it's hard because a lot of people don't. So I think it's cool that she takes me seriously.
And you're from Seattle, right?
Yeah, I'm from Seattle.
So is it kind of like you're kind of like in a bigger city, small artist. So there's like different opportunities to get yourself out there. What kind of things have you been doing to like just get yourself out there?
I've been honestly the same thing I do. I've this entire year I've been shooting emails, and like I've been trying to look as professional as possible, right? But um, my press kit, it was like a free trial, so it, or I mean, not my press kit, my what is it, the press what is that called? The press release kit, right? Where the artists have the, yeah,
I think so.
yeah, something like that, right? It's like something for artists to, for professionals to look at their work or whatever. I've been, trying to look as professional as possible, just because, like, I mean, I live in Renton, right, which is like 10 minutes from Seattle. So like I've done programs in Seattle. All my shows are in Seattle, but like it's still hard to connect because a lot of the Seattle rap scene, I mean, Seattle artist scene is like rap now, and it's like very West Coast rap, and I'm like, that's not my audience, so I don't. It's like hard for me to. I'm trying to get more in there. I'm still kind of getting started, so it's like it's weird to navigate. That's all emails, and I yeah, I suggest that just be professional, nice and kind to people.
Hmm. It's like you see all these like really popular genres right now, or like at least like in your environment, it's kind of like you're like in a different genre. I feel that way when I listen to a lot of alternative indie folk, and not a lot of people listen to it. I'm like, well, it's great, but like everyone around here is they might not listen to that. So I kind of
Yeah,
get that.
yeah, it's like weird 'cause it's like I don't know. I mean, I went to a Kenny Hoopa concert here, and I know there are people who listen to that kind of music. It's like as soon as that concert ends, there's nowhere to be found that anyone. It's like weird, but I'm trying to, like, a lot of the platforms that help artists get like up here are in helping out different genres. And like I know it doesn't matter, but like they don't pay me no mind just because I'm not, and I don't have money like that, so I'm trying.
If people want to listen to your music or find you on social media, what platforms are you on?
I'm on everything basically. I recommend Spotify and Apple Music though. Uh, you know, King Zaae, double A and a E. But
Michael, do you have any questions?
Instagram.
Oh, the name is so creative. I love it.
So when we asked you more information about you, I know Maggie and I were very surprised when you told us you were only 15.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's
Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Yeah.
crazy. And with that, how does that play into you being in school and being a musician at the same time?
Um, so like recently I've gotten some support from like classmates, but like when I started, I used to get made fun of a lot. Like I had a song that had like a quarter million on SoundCloud back when like SoundCloud was still kind of a thing. You could, people used to listen to music on. And like I deleted the song, right? But I made it in fifth grade for a girl who like broke my heart, right? Or whatever. I was 10. She just said she didn't like me. But I showed her the song and she said, ew. And then a year later, I was like, ha, that's why it has a lot of people like it. But like, yeah, I used to get made fun of because my voice is higher. So my voice used to be super high and I'm like super small. So
Your voice is amazing. That's what it is. I was the one that said I was obsessed with Somewhere Someplace. I have listened to it at least 36 times.
Oh my goodness.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm just now getting better with my vocals, but yeah, it was hard before. It's getting a little bit easier now.
Do you take a
School
lot
is
of
definitely like I don't like school. Like that's one thing I hate. So school. I've been trying to like blow up and like go on tour so I don't have to go to school for so long. But I definitely like I do like I have good grades or whatever, right? But like I definitely put music like here and then school like here. So
So I looked at your TikTok for a little bit and I saw the plankton sound, like shutting the door several times. And I saw that you said that you are compared to several artists. What are some of those artists that you've been compared to?
Yeah, okay. So in the past, but like in the past, I had like a complex where the idols or like the artists that I looked up to, I would basically just copy and paste what they did. So like I've been comparing because I used to be more of a rapper, so like Juice World or X and uh what have I been compared to recently? Like actually I haven't gotten many comparisons recently, but sometimes I'll get weird ones where they're like, "Oh, you sound like Justin Timberlake," and I'll be like, "What?" It's like that makes no sense. I mean, okay, whatever. You know, I'll get weird comparisons, but like I used to get a lot where like my friend who also makes music used to be like, "Bro, Juice WRLD died, and he went into you," and it was so annoying. I used to get that one all the time. It was like, or like sometimes I'll get like Glaive, and then like it's not really. I don't really get like the same because I feel like I finally have like kind of a unique self. I'm being myself in my music now. But like I said, Juice WRLD was the big one. They were like, you sound exactly like him. You're gonna be the next, and I was so.
You got anything else?
I can think of. Do you have any questions for us?
Yeah, like, do you guys do like interviews for like a lot of indie artists and stuff?
You
We're
are the
start.
second.
Yeah, the second. The first one was Jubilee, which she's from Las Vegas, and she's more of a indie alt folk. And she hopefully we can get that interview on the website soon because we have a website, Bash Radio 80 bashradio.com.
Just bashradio.com.
Bashradio.com. And we're hopefully gonna get that on there and this interview as well, which this will probably air next Monday if I'm
Next
successful.
Tuesday.
Tuesday, next.
And if not that Tuesday, then the Tuesday after. It gets kind of busy around here.
But Jubilee also is a small artist and she has like 3,000 followers on Instagram. But we're just trying to find some small artists, and the fact that you reached out is really cool. We don't get a lot of those, so we were like, yeah, we want to interview King Zaae.
We do get a lot of them. Just a lot of them are like country artists, and we're like, we don't.
Yeah.
I know we're gonna post some tomorrow that have been liking our posts consistently, and I'm kind of excited to do that because, like, if I have an indie artist and I'm noticed, because I like to write music, I'm also a lover of music. I just don't know how to produce it, but like if I was noticed, I'd be like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty cool. Thank you guys for like wanting to do interview with me and stuff. This is
No problem.
it is really cool to me. Because I'm like I've done it.
We plan to play some of your music tomorrow too. Somewhere, someplace. I just put that in the system like 30 minutes ago, so that will play tomorrow.
I'm just making sure. Is it someplace, somewhere, or somewhere, someplace? Because you got like on Spotify one way and then YouTube a different way.
Gosh, is it? Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I forget it all the time because I did that right, but that's not even so. Like the lyrics aren't even somewhere in some place are like two lines away from each other, so it confuses me too. I'm pretty sure it's somewhere, someplace.
Okay.
That's what I put on the platforms. So if it's wrong on YouTube, I will change that. Yeah.
I know the live.
If you mess it up though, it doesn't matter. It's
Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, are you guys like based in Illinois? Did I see that?
We are southeastern Illinois in the Evansville market.
So like Evansville is kind of like it's not like Indianapolis, but it is a city in Indiana. And so that's like, we're like 50 minutes away from that. That's a lot of people. But yeah, we're in Mount Carmel, Illinois, and it's a pretty nifty town. One of our restaurants just closed down, so that's great.
It's an interesting town.
It's
How long have you been doing this?
We've been doing the show. The show actually started with this is a community college, so like sophomores graduate. It was 3 sophomores back in January, February of this year, and it was called Indie Hours, and they graduated. I was like, I want that show. So I took the show, and we called it Underground Sound 4 to 6 because it's 4 to 6 p.m. It's actually named after the song Joey Valence and Bray, but by Joey Valence and Bray. Like they're like a rap duo. Is kind of cool. But yeah, Underground Sound has been going on since August. The actual, like the whole indie show at this college and this demographic has been going on since January. But since then, like kind of like reconstructed a show. There were some songs in there that were like way too depressing, and I wanted to like put more uplifting songs, and especially way more smaller songs or artists, because they were indie. It's like indie has two different categories. It's like you're either popular indie or actually indie. So
Like
it's like,
the true definition of it.
yeah, it's like Men I Trust, I would say, is more like popular indie. They're still indie, but they've just got on Jimmy Fallon. Like Japanese Breakfast has been on SNL, but like Jubilee, Kingsley, Kevin Oreo, all the Tess Posner, all these artists that follow us, they need more uplifting. That is true indie, and that's what I want to do a mixture on the show because Men I Trust is my favorite band. I'm not gonna not play them, but I want to showcase more small artists because I feel like that wasn't really shown, and talk a lot more about music as well. So
Yeah, I
it's
think we should do it. It's really cool. Sure.
if you plan to go to college, I say doing like being in the radio program, if they have one, is probably one of the most fun things you'll ever do. I mean, there's also like music production in it too, like with the radio and stuff like that. So it's like a 2-in-1, but I'm just saying college radio is awesome. Do you have anything else you would like to add to the interview, what you want people to hear?
Be kind to people. That's a great message, I think. Underrated, overused, but underrated.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for letting me and Micah interview you. And we're going to play your music on the Bash like all the time. Bash is our radio station. And you are. Mhm.
Sorry, I was gonna say I'm gonna tune in.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much and have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.